Okay, here's the deal. And I know you've heard me say this before. If you're in a job search, this one change in mindset will change everything, including the results you get. The job search, when you're in that beginning stage, is all about elimination, not selection. And what I mean by that is that in those first stages, when you're an applicant or when you're getting referred for a job, remember that the hiring manager may be getting hundreds of applications, but only has one opening. So the process that they're going through is, how can I whittle this pile down to maybe 5 candidates that we can talk to, and then of course whittle it down further to one who gets the offer. So when you think like that, your brain works differently when it's thinking about elimination versus selection. And at this stage in the process, a hiring manager is thinking, how can I easily make my pile smaller? And unfortunately, there's not a lot of exploration that goes into this part of the job search. So it's usually based on personal perception, biases, and easy answers like, well, this candidate wants too much money, or perhaps they want the candidate to have a certain certification and you don't have that. Or it could be things like biases. Sadly, there's things like age bias and many, many others that come in to play that maybe even the hiring manager is not realizing they're engaging in this process, but they're using that. And of course, if you're a switcher, that is something that they may use to whittle down the list as well. So especially if you're a switcher, but really if it doesn't matter what you're going for at this stage, you really have to brand yourself as the candidate of choice, which means that if your strategy is putting everything on your resume that you've ever done, or every impressive accomplishment, chances are you're going to be eliminated because you're asking the hiring manager to do a lot of work to weed through all of that and find what's going to be most relevant. So at this stage, you really want to match first, stand out second. What I mean by that is you want to put your most relevant achievements and skills and strengths front and center on that application, on that resume, and your LinkedIn, and really brand yourself as the solution to that problem versus putting every accomplishment on there, or maybe accomplishments that got you where you are today, but aren't really aligned to where you want to go tomorrow. This can be really hard because it's difficult to maybe take off some accomplishments that you feel are an identifying feature about you. But if it's not relevant, you're basically putting out there that, hey, I'm not what you want, but you should look at me anyway. And of course, that's when you get eliminated. So when you think about this, hiring is about elimination, not selection. You can start saying, what can I put on there that would, make the hiring manager say, I want to talk to this person, I want to learn more. And if the bullet point or the achievement isn't going to get the hiring manager to get to that stage, then you want to save it for later. And the reason I say match first, stand out second is because when you get down to that final batch, when the hiring manager is trying to select between the top 2 or 3 candidates, chances are you're going to be asked, what makes you different? What makes you more competitive than the other candidates? And if you are a switcher, or if you do have unique selling points, which we all do in different ways, then you can bring out those other accomplishments that you've kind of been saving in the wings to say, well, actually, I have these additional things that I can bring to the table as well. So keep this in mind when you're in a job search strategy. Hiring is about elimination, not selection, especially in those beginning stages. So you want to match first, stand out second. And when you have that shift in mindset and that shift in strategy, you're going to see your results go through the roof.